My name is Nakota Keating. I started mytaptrack after seeing some of the challenges schools face with the manual process of behavior tracking firsthand. When my son, who's autistic, first entered kindergarten, having a background in making groundbreaking technologies, I wanted to be part of the solution to this problem, which not only impacts students and teachers, but financially impacts schools and districts. In this demonstration, I'm going to walk you through the award-winning system called mytaptrack and show you just how impactful it can be in helping students, teachers, and even school districts. It all starts with this, our new device called the Track 2.0. With it, teachers can press the button once for one behavior, twice for another, and so forth. That information, as soon as it's clicked, is sent via Wi-Fi to our secure web platform. This means that the teacher's job in the reporting process is done right then. No having to check in to make or to fill out forms. No risk of required progress monitoring being missed. That information is then visualized on the mytaptrack portal's dashboard. Here you can easily see general trends of behaviors. You can see the durations tracked with teachers clicking to start and clicking to stop, eliminating them having to look up the clock or estimate in their heads behavior durations or IEP goals. Finally, you can see where throughout the day different behaviors are occurring, helping the team focus on those specific areas which show a pattern. When you click on the day in the chart, you can dive into the data in detail in the child's daily view. Here you can see the details as to when different behaviors are occurring and gain context as they automatically sort themselves into that student's schedule. This is important because, as you see here, reading for Jack starts at 8:30, but his avert behavior didn't occur until 9:20, which is towards the end of class. Having this context allows a teacher and other support team members to ask the right questions and get to the specific challenges this child is having, whether it's transition issues, environmental issues, or a variety of other triggers. Next, there's the duration view, which looks similar. In this view, you can see each individual measured duration. So for example, with Jack, Wednesday was a hard day. On Wednesday, Jack had on average over 50 minutes of being distracted. But when we look at the measurements below, we can see that a lot of the durations are fairly short. Here, there's a duration of 52 seconds, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. But when we look at the next duration, it's an hour and 55 minutes, starting at the beginning of math and continuing all the way through writing. This duration pulls the rest of the averages up and gives us a very good understanding of where the challenges are being faced. Next, we have interval-based charting. When behaviors happen in clusters, sometimes it's important to understand that a cluster could be the same triggering factor. Using the same data, the mytaptrack portal generates interval-based reports for you, based on the interval durations you want. Next, we have the Notes tab, where qualitative information can be added. One of the core philosophies of mytaptrack is that data is best when it's collected at the time behaviors or events occur. With that in mind, a teacher can hold down the Track 2.0 button and say Note, then speak for up to 12 seconds. A timestamp is added to the Notes section, and that note is transcribed underneath it. At mytaptrack, our aim is to be part of the solution to behavior monitoring and improvement. We want to make sure that mytaptrack adapts to the student's needs, rather than that student having to adapt to yet another system. When you come to the student settings, you can set up any number of behaviors for a single student, and the behavior can be anything you'd like it to be. This includes exactly what's in the student's IEP. For example, I can type in, "This is my behavior," and click Save, and that's what the behavior is going to be called. Setting up a behavior for duration tracking is checking a checkbox. We also wanted to change how the team in the school could support the child. Here, a team member can subscribe to a specific behavior notification delivered via email or text message. This allows the team to respond at the right time with the right team members, providing on-demand support for the classroom. This could potentially reduce the need for overstaffing of specific classrooms, enabling a more engaging teaching and support experience. One of the areas we're innovating is an automatic notification based on a change in the patterns a child displays. We built up an AI that learns that specific child's pattern of behavior, and team members can subscribe to get notified if the system identifies a pattern change. Identifying and communicating if a new intervention is working can be challenging outside of mytaptrack. With mytaptrack, you can specify when support changes occur. Support changes could be a new intervention that's going to be used, a new medication the child is starting, or even a life-changing event the child is facing, such as the death of a loved one. These support changes then visualize on the dashboard. I'm going to select the month of May, and we immediately see that there's a vertical line when the support change started. This allows us to easily see the behavior before and after the support change occurred, and know if what we're doing is working. To set up the Track 2.0, you first register it to a child. The Track 2.0 has the ability to be registered to multiple children. You can switch between them using code words instead of student names. An example of this is switch to Chicago or switch to period 2 student E. There's no limit as to how many students can be connected to a single device other than the teacher's ability to easily remember code words and which behaviors are being tracked. Next, you decide what you want each number of clicks to mean by selecting the behaviors you want from a drop-down for each click count. You click Save, and the device is configured right then. We built a system that could easily be used as an internal resource for the school, but with the ability to also be used as a communication tool to help the child holistically. Internally, the school can share this information with the support team for the child, including the school psychologist, administrators, and potentially even other teacher coaches. But this can also be used to communicate with a BCBA. Can you imagine what a BCBA could do with this level of detail? This is typically the level of detail a BCBA has to come into the classroom to collect. But mytaptrack can be used for more than that. If a school wants, it can share specific behaviors with a parent, or the child's doctors, therapists, nutritionists, neurologists, etc. Most times diagnoses are made based off of a game of telephone between the teacher, parent, and doctor. The doctor then uses this information to make a diagnosis and prescribe therapies or medications. With mytaptrack data, the doctor, for example, could make diagnoses and prescription recommendations based off of tangible data, then make changes to the medication based off of real-time information to either tune the medication or change it because it's not having the impact the doctor was expecting. This helps the child get the right level of support for their challenges, which in turn reduces the demands and costs related to the student's education. Here we have the ability to set up a child's schedule. We love making integrations with education systems, but out of the box, mytaptrack supports AB schedules and even an assembly day schedule, which the teacher can select by selecting the schedule in the day's details. Finally, we at mytaptrack aren't the experts on what the child is facing. You are. There might be visualizations or analysis that you want to do on the data that we don't provide yet. In this case, you can download a week, a month, or even a year's worth of data into an Excel file, which is compatible with Google Sheets. This allows you to do your own analysis and find ways of helping the student that we haven't even thought of. Thank you for taking the time to get an overview of what mytaptrack is and how it impacts students. We believe our journey has just begun, and we're always working to improve upon what we've built based on feedback from teachers, administrators, BCBAs, and parents. If you have any feedback or improvements, or you'd just like to learn more, please email info@mytaptrack.com or get in touch with your sales representative. mytaptrack brings better data and better communication for better outcomes.